I want to just pass this over because you see time goes quick. I don't want to lose a lot of time, so I'm going to let you introduce this nice lady. Nadia Christian is she is with CognitiveFitnessTherapy.com, and she is a trainer herself and a psychotherapist. So I'm going to hand this over to you, Nadia Christian, and you will introduce Alice Baland.
Thanks, Kathy. Welcome to Achieving a Higher Level of Wellness, and I'm going to also make the introduction quick because we have so much material to cover. But a couple of things I did want to talk about Alice is I always like to find other individuals who are creative and who have just done so much in their field. And what was so interesting about Alice was the fact that she's a licensed professional counselor. She's a registered dietitian. She does hypnotherapy, and she does some other techniques.
Yeah.
And you usually don't see that. You may see, a therapist.
You thought you were full with the physical, I
thought I was doing pretty good and pretty creative until I met her, and I thought she would be fabulous on the show.
Yeah.
Because you know what? When you're talking about nutrition, sometimes it's not just as simple as preparing or following healthy guidelines. Sometimes there's underlying issues, just as there is with, like what I do, the pain, whether it's emotional or physical pain. So
right.
One of the things that I want to talk about her accomplishments is you may have seen her on CNN, NBC, ABC, USA Today, the Wall Street Journal. She has been all over the place talking about what she does.
She's just been so busy working lately. We haven't seen her in a little bit, right?
So we're fortunate to have her here today.
We really are.
The other thing, too, is that she was the first one to have a private practice as a dietitian here in Dallas. And she has been...
As strictly a dietitian or both?
First dietitian in private practice.
Wow.
Isn't that phenomenal?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she's here today with us. So I'm really excited about that.
She was like a spokesperson for the diet.
American Dietetic Association.
Yeah.
First one there, too. So that was very fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
And she's thin.
Yes.
Well, she has all the tools, and she uses them all, as we can tell.
That's right. I work out 8 to 12 hours a week.
It'd be kind of bad if Miss Pat said, well, just don't look at me. I don't. But,
Do we have a question?
She must have been 12 when she started.
Yeah, she was. She was very
I
early.
appreciate that. Yeah. Meditation works well, too. Good nutrition, good exercise.
And good mental health.
Good mental health.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Mind is everything.
Yes.
Well, and the way I integrate psychotherapy and exercises, I usually just have them actually doing physical exercise as we're conducting a therapeutic session. But I'm interested, Alice, to see how you do that. How do you integrate being a therapist, a hypnotherapist, and a dietitian? Like, do they come in to see you for one first, and then it turns out to something else, or?
Well, I think we live in stressful, perilous times, and so I used to counsel clients as a dietitian, and I'd help them to a certain point, and then it got to be a very emotional or life situation or more stressful things going on, so I'd refer them to a therapist, and then they never come back. So I got tired of that, so I thought I'm going to be both. So I went back to school, got my master's, and became a licensed professional counselor and internship and all that, so that I can combine the two. So when clients come to me, there's some amount of huge pain in their lives, whether it's unconscious eating or emotional or compulsive eating or stress or anxiety or grief or something like that. And what I bring to the tools that I bring to them is I can start out where they are, either as a dietitian or as a therapist, and I might employ some different types of tools like hypnotherapy or unconscious, like subconscious energy psychology, and I always believe in nutrition and exercise too. So I'll help them pinpoint what their core issues are as a compassionate observer and look at the whole overview of their life. Because sometimes, when you're right in there, you only see what you see instead of like the whole picture. And as an objective person, I can see like their whole life. So I like to have a broad approach, a wide perspective, and help them, give them tools and skills so that they can be happy, healthy people again. And I really enjoy that. So that's my focus as a dietitian and as a therapist. Sometimes it might be more as a therapist, but I find a lot of people come to me as a dietitian first because they find that less threatening. And then, as I'm finding out what they need, I'll offer them some tools and strategies for maybe emergency life situations.
And that's the same thing with me. People usually come in for the fitness component,
Yeah.
whether it's body image, but they have stress, anxiety, depression, and that all comes out. And it's it's not, there's not the stigma when they come in to see somebody to do exercise as opposed to going to achieve a higher level of wellness or
Right.
going to therapy. Now tell me, what do you think leads people to eat emotionally?
Well, as an
Okay.
example, I had a client one time a few years ago, and it's such a common problem that there's not a confidentiality problem there because it happens to so many people. But this woman was just really sweet, and she came in and she said, Alice, I wake up in the morning and there's all these empty packages all over the house and empty containers and my stomach
Ice cream
hurts.
container.
Kathy, was that you?
Buying those small ones, it's okay if you buy one of those small ones. It's bad when you buy several, and then because you can always open
You
up
can
that
identify.
other one.
Yeah.
But you think you'll fool yourself. But,
Right. And so,
Or
she
cookies.
was just,
I keep it all by the bed.
What?
I'm a night eater.
well, and that, I think that's the thing, is like a lot of people get in, and she's
I want
saying,
cookies
I'm
and
hurt,
milk.
I'm in pain. And so there's different degrees of disordered eating. And
It helps me relax because I've been going so hard, and so when I get into bed and I have cookies and milk,
Well, and there's nothing wrong with having cookies and milk because I'm not the food police. And a lot of people who come the first time, they write out this diet
but that's not
history.
all I eat. You can tell it's not just cookies and milk.
It's about variety
yeah.
and balance, and but when food becomes used as a coping mechanism and the only coping mechanism, and then when weight becomes a problem, then you've got two problems. You've got the initial core problem that brought you in, like this young woman. It turns out she had a death in the family. And the way she dealt with it was by having, unconsciously eating all these foods, and she blocked it out. And she was in such pain. She hurt. She gained a lot of weight. And she says, Alice, I need your help. What can I do?
And then she hurt even worse when she looked at herself in the mirror.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't really, it really has the opposite effect. So I've always battled. I didn't have to battle with it till I got into my 30s, but and we do.
That's true.
But mine is also
life's
making
changes.
time to eat and have a nice meal, and I'm always on the run. So what's the easiest thing? The drive-through.
Well, you know what, Kathy?
Peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
That brings up a good point because
Yeah.
sometimes when people get stuck in certain habits, they've always done things a certain way.
I don't eat breakfast.
They just don't think of new ways to do things. So that's where I help them find out what their life is like, their lifestyle is like, their food preparation skills. And I've got food preparation meals that I can help someone with in like 1 minute, a 1 minute meal or 5 minute meal, and help rebalance the time so they have, put their priorities in life. And it's really a lot of fun because I've been there. I've been, my son one time, he said, I don't mean to complain about the food because I really love the way you cook, but, we've had hot dogs 5 days in a row. And I just said, oh, Chris, sorry, we have? Okay, sorry, but how about like roast beef and potatoes and carrots tonight or something? And I just, everybody gets into that stressful life position, and you're just trying to hang
I
on
don't
and
even
survive.
cook them anymore, I just eat them. I don't cook them because I don't have time.
Well, I think a lot, I think nutrition is really important. And one thing that people have a lot of trouble with, and if they just have the right balance of protein, fat, carbohydrate for breakfast and lunch, that helps prevent food cravings and all kinds of things later on.